Emotionally, I liked it, but logically, this is a mess.
What a dump.
This show is a complete mess, logically. It's playing on my emotions because I want to see these characters succeed. I want to see these characters get beyond all of this.
I think the strength of this season 5 is all in the last 40 minutes. Really.
Yup!
Hello and welcome to the Brothers Random Show. My name is Travis.
I'm Michael.
And we are two ordinary brothers discussing extraordinary ideas and some random shit. Michael, why are we here?
Today we are talking about Stranger Things. We're going to talk about Stranger Things as a whole, but also Stranger Things the last season. Ooh, there's a lot to talk about. Let's get into it.
God damn you, copyright!
We're going to try to just get our overall thoughts of the whole thing, go into season 5, and then get into mostly the cultural impact of this show. And I believe it might be the last of its kind. So,
yeah. So let's start with overall thoughts. Go ahead.
So it's hard to go back 10 years, right? This show's been going on for 10 years, even though there's only 5 seasons. And when I think about 10 years ago, I'm like just reminded of what wasn't around. TikTok started about the same time.
TikTok brain. Have you heard of this? That's what some experts in medicine and education are calling a condition where kids who constantly consume things in 15-second bursts just can't focus on long-form communication.
Game of Thrones was still on the air. There's a lot of things that I was into when this show started, and I wouldn't say this is my favorite show. It wouldn't probably be in my top 10 favorite shows, but I have enjoyed this show. There's a lot of characters to follow. All of them have their own quirks and personalities. It's kind of nice to just see where these characters have gone for the last 10 years. I mean, you got to think these kids started out really young in the first season, and I have been impressed with most of the seasons. If I had to say the least, I would have to say I think the third season isn't great, and I have to say this last season wasn't great. So my favorite season probably was season 4, or the first season, or the first season. So I kind of liked how season 4 ended. Now, I didn't rewatch all of them, so my memory's a little vague on all of it. I had to do like a recap to actually watch season 5. You'll have to remind me if I get everything wrong. But anyway, your overall thoughts of the show itself.
Well, I've loved it, and I've been a big fan, really. I think it kind of just progressively got worse. Season 4 had its good parts, but I kind of felt like season 1 introduced some really neat stuff. It really took us back. The whole series is really nostalgia bait for the 80s.
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
Yeah, it really is.
Awareness of 80s culture and technology has been in a significant decline, especially amongst a certain demographic. I'm talking to you, millennials.
And season 1 really kind of played on some of these 80s tropes of kind of like the Goonies.
Don't say that! Never say that! Goonies never say die!
You had some young
E.T.
kids with a couple older kids, and they were going out on this adventure, almost a little bit like E.T. with kind of this, some alien something, but then also you had some government officials that you didn't really know what were they doing and what's their involvement. I had a lot of these really great kind of 80s tropes that I loved that they were bringing in. Season 1, season 2 felt like it kind of carried that still pretty well.
I kind of lost its muster in season 3 for me. Mm-hmm. I liked some of the Russian stuff, but it got really like hokey, and season 4 for me kind of was like a return to form, mostly because if you have an omnipotent, powerful being like Elle, you got to find a way. She's got to have a weakness, right? And so the fact that they took away her powers was just, I thought, was kind of smart. And then she spends the season trying to get them back. And I thought adding Eddie to the cast was really good. It would have been better if he had lasted maybe a little bit longer into this season. Season 4 just kind of got back to being good again, I guess. But again, like, this wasn't my top show of all time. I liked it. I thought it was entertaining. I was into it. There's a couple of storylines that I thought were really odd. Did you like the storyline of when Elle in the second season goes away with that, like the group of kids, goth kids,
outcasts,
like the outcast kids? Like, did
when
you like
she
that
goes
stuff?
with,
I thought that was hokey.
8? Was it
Yeah,
number
8? Yeah.
I didn't really like it.
I thought it was dumb. And then
Yeah.
the fact that they brought it back in this this season,
literally, I mean,
like,
spoiler. Maybe we'll get into spoilers here in a second. But
yeah,
they brought back that character for one reason and one reason only.
Yeah,
and we'll
and
get into that.
I don't. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if that was a wise decision to take one of the elements that was the worst part of season 2 to put into season 5. I just didn't think that was wise. But anyway, overall, I've been entertained by the show. I wouldn't necessarily say that I've always agreed that it was consistently good. So it had its ups and its downs.
Mm-hmm.
And at its best, it was when the 4 main kids were together and kind of giving each other a hard time. Like, that was
and
when
playing
it was at
off
its
of
be-
each other,
playing
and then
off of each other.
trying to do something together, and like having this kind of quest
Yeah.
going and doing something together.
And I just thought there probably wasn't
as
enough.
well as the older kids, because I always thought it was kind of fun to have these older kids trying to help as well.
Yeah.
I
like 4 or
liked-
5 years older. They
Yeah.
were like upperclassmen kind of
I
thing.
mean, it's basically Goonies with Josh Brolin. He's kind of the older kid, and he's a couple girls that are there too that
are
anyways.
older. Yeah.
I always kind of liked that when they would play off of those.
I think this show has had a bigger cultural impact than we maybe even realize, kind of, because it's nostalgia bait with as much of a twist of it on its own as it can have. But I think it probably is indicative of a bigger problem with entertainment in general, where it's basically most entertainment is nostalgia bait for a generation, the 80s generation, the people that grew up in that era, the era of originality. There were so many original things that came out in that era that everybody's trying to milk now. There's like a creative vacuum. It's all going back to the people that are in their late 30s, 40s, and 50s, instead of bringing something new into this generation. And it might be, you and I were talking about this before, TikTok might be like cause of this.
TikTok might be the cause of this, where nothing new comes. It's all nostalgia. The whole landscape of entertainment is changing. I've heard TikTok brain used before, but it literally could be changing the landscape of all entertainment. Because TikTok came out, it was a phenomena. Everybody else has followed suit. So everybody has short form now. Mm-hmm. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of them have short form and doom scrolling short form. And that might change literally how we watch entertainment from now until forever.
That's affecting the way they're building stories. To further get into season 5, I'm going to just say there were a ton of exposition dumps in season 5. And there supposedly is this new phenomenon with streaming called second screen storytelling.
Right. So it's a directive that's being handed out by big studios to filmmakers, which means that you have to acknowledge that people are on their phones the whole time they're watching telly. The language has become really bait and on the nose. And that's because they're being told, the writers, that they have to write in a way that someone can carry on with doom scrolling or shopping online while following it in the background. So nothing can be too complex. Nothing can be too high end. It has to be like we are purposefully dumbing down content.
They don't trust the audience to be watching all the way through, so they have to have an exposition dump every episode while you're watching. Even though you've been binge watching it, maybe you've looked away at your screen and they're not 100% relying on the story itself to explain itself. What they're doing is they're throwing this information at you so that you can keep up to speed. And the problem with that is that it makes for really poor storytelling.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next products.
There were so many exposition dumps in this new season that it became tedious, and oftentimes I would just, when it would happen, I would just do something else. It was actually causing me to do something else. To explain, I'm looking for immersion. I'm like sitting there. I want to be entertained to the point where I'm forgetting everything else. So I'm sitting. So I'm one of those people that goes to the movie theater, puts my phone in my pocket, puts it on vibrate, may even shut it off, and just watch the fucking movie. So, but the problem with that is that doing this for the older generation like me, who's not consistently on my phone all the time, it's actually causing me to go to my phone all the time because I'm like, another exposition jump. Okay, well, I'm going to look at my phone now because I'm already keeping up. So I think this is a really bad new thing that's happening, and this show's a product of that because it didn't happen as much in the first seasons. They were telling the story as they went along. They didn't have to re-explain the story.
And maybe this is why they kept so many characters, so that they could do this, where whenever another character joined the group, or like there was a branch off that where they joined together, they would have to explain things to each other. And we as the audience would be seeing the explanation. So then we're caught up. This is from a cast that has grown, and they haven't killed anybody off except for Eddie and Billy, I guess.
And Bob. They killed Bob.
Bob, that's true. Yeah. It's kind of funny how the Duffer brothers.
Yeah, it's the Duffer brothers, yeah.
Yeah, they reached out to Sean Astin and wanted him to have a part, and he was all for it.
This is funny because they reach out to 80s icons. Basically, Winona Ryder was an 80s icon. Sean Astin was an 80s icon because he played Mikey in Goonies, which this show heavily pulls from. Matthew Modine, who played the white-haired scientist, I forget his name, Dr. Brennan. He's an 80s icon from Full Metal Jacket. There's Paul Reiser. He was an 80s icon. He was in Aliens. He was in Mad About You. I mean, he was a creator of Mad About You.
And they had to bring in Sarah Connor in this season.
And they had to bring Sarah Connor in this season, which I don't know why she's in this season, because it's like...
I forget her name.
She's a nothing burger
She plays
of a
Sarah
character.
Connor. Yeah.
Yeah. So they bring in these 80s icons, which I thought was great up until this season, because the truth is that Linda Hamilton has nothing to do in this.
They had a character that filled her role, and they just kind of sidestepped him. It was kind of weird.
It's weird, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's a lot
bizarre.
of weird things. Emotionally, I liked it, but logically, this is a mess.
What a dump.
This show is a complete mess logically. There's so many holes, but it's playing on my emotions because I want to see these characters succeed. I want to see these characters get beyond all of this, and it did a good job of it.
I think the strength of this season 5 is all in the last 40 minutes.
You're goddamn right.
Really. I think everything else kind of just was falling apart, didn't work very well. It was all over the place, but I did like how they wrapped up everybody's stories. It took a little while. I think they wanted to just let everybody know how all these stories wrapped up, and I think they did a good job of that. Mm-hmm. Beyond that, I couldn't stand all the different things that they did with the story, with kind of changing things, what the upside down was. It got all over the place, and I wasn't really liking it that much. I mean, season 5 really was my least favorite season, but I did enjoy how they wrapped everything up, and that's what I'll say.
To get really into season 5, we should probably do a spoiler warning. Spoilers now. I'm the same. It's probably my least favorite season. It wrapped things up, I think, in an emotionally satisfying way. In a logical way, it shit the bed. There are so many different locations, and I know they're trying to keep everything interesting, but they've got Vecna's mind, then they've got Vecna where he really is, and then they've got the Upside Down, which is a bridge and not another dimension, but it's a bridge to another dimension. So basically, it
bridge to another world.
Yeah,
I guess.
And what's so strange about it is they already had established stuff, so why change it up? I don't get it.
Also, just like, how did they know? I don't know. Dustin finds a book that explains it all.
Is it bad because of TikTok brain? Do they need to overcomplicate it to keep people interested? Like, I don't know.
Well, there was other things too. I couldn't stand that. So they had a couple love story lines going throughout.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like nobody could really get their love story to work.
There's 2 love stories that work. So it's Lucas and Max
and Hopper
and Joyce.
Throughout the seasons, they were kind of centered on Nancy's love story, her kind of love triangle.
Her love triangle. And I thought it was just dumb
Steven.
that they didn't have her end up with either one of them. She just goes to a corporate
maybe
job.
this is just a sign of the times. I'm gonna go have a career, and I don't think about boys. And this whole love scene that literally had all of the markers of a love, like of a love scene where they are gonna express love for each other, but it was a breakup scene.
Yeah, it was a breakup scene. Yeah, it's crazy, wasn't it?
Which was completely bizarre.
It was bizarre and fascinating. You have to admit, you were just fascinated to watch that scene.
Yeah, because it was shit.
Yeah, so you didn't like it. I had my oldest daughter explain this to me because she actually liked it. She said, "Dad, they were only together because of their trauma. They were trauma bonded." And she's like, they needed to be separated from each other because they were trauma bonded. Which, when she explained it that way, I was like, okay, maybe that was okay. But at the same time, when they're all on the roof at the end and they're all talking about their lives, all of their lives are going to be shit. Like, Jonathan's going to become an anti-capitalist filmmaker. Like, what the?
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
The one thing that I did like about that scene was how they talked about how we need to get together, and they scheduled in getting together. This is adulting. Like,
yeah, that's
anybody who's been an adult understands if they've got a group of friends and they want to get together, you do. It literally is like that. It's like, well, we got to schedule this in. What works for you? Like this week, this month, where does this work for you? And that literally is kind of what it shows. It's like, that's growing up. That's adulting. They all have
but Nancy's gonna have a terrible life because now she's like got an expensive apartment. She's working up a corporate ladder, and why? Like you said, it's the sign of the times. Like they're telling young women, hey, don't have a relationship. Go into corporate.
Exactly.
You and I have been railing against this mentality for so long. Like can't the Duffer Brothers just like read a couple of articles going, oh, hello, men and women going their separate ways. This isn't good for society. Maybe we should have these people end up with people. I don't know.
Separate ways. Shout out to Journey in this series. Stranger Things made Separate Ways popular again.
And here's another thing that just bugs the hell out of me.
You know what really grinds my gears?
So, are you familiar with who Anne Heche is?
Mm-mm.
Okay, Anne Heche was very famous in, I think, the late 90s, early 2000s for being in a relationship with Ellen DeGeneres. She was gay at the time, but Anne Heche recently died. She was killed in a car accident or something like that. But I read the highlight, and she had been dating Thomas Jane for like 10 years or something like that. She was a gay woman at one time, and then she wasn't. And this isn't depicted in Hollywood ever. If they had taken Robin and had her end up with Steve, like, that's what I wanted. I wanted her to end up with Steve, because their relationship in season 3 was just, I thought, was great. Oh, that was awesome. That was the only good thing to me about their relationship.
You're just saying it
season.
Doesn't fit the narrative for a gay woman to decide not to be gay.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That's fair.
It's wild that in real life that happens all of the time.
Yeah,
all of the time. And
interesting.
I for the longest time I thought Anne Heche was like a gay icon, and then all of a sudden I find out that she had been romantically involved with the actor Thomas Jane for like 10 years, and her career also took a dive too towards the end of her life. So it's like, hello, what's wrong with you, Hollywood? If you're looking to be edgy, maybe that's a little edgy, right? To have a established gay character decide that they don't want to be gay anymore, because people can do that.
And it would have broken the internet.
It would have broken the internet, right?
For sure. Did you know that was Ethan Hawke's daughter?
Oh yeah,
Robin? I did not know that.
I don't know why she's not as good looking as both of her.
Oh my gosh, Uma Thurman and
Ethan Hawke. They're
Ethan
both
Hawke
like the best looking people in the world, and why is she not? Well, they ugly everybody up in this show. Like, I don't know why they do that, but they do.
They kind of do. They actually, if you see these people on the red carpet, they
look
all
way
are
better
looking than when they're in the
yeah,
TV
like Nancy.
series.
Nancy looks like Rambo in this. Was that intentional? Was that intentional?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yes, it was. Yes,
it
was
looks
intentional.
exactly like Sylvester Stallone looked in Rambo. the haircut, the belt with all the bullets on it. It's like,
yeah,
what are they doing with Nancy? Yeah. The real actress is 98 pounds, soaking wet. Okay, and she can't carry that gun. Like, she looks awkward with that gun. Like, why are they trying to make her a girl boss?
Girls get it done. Girls get it done. Girls get it done. Girls get it done. Girls get it done.
Like,
oh, one of the best parts. Oh my gosh. One of the best parts is when the whole group, they're fighting the big bad monster. Was it Nancy that's like, okay, you guys, we're going to go get up on those mountains.
Oh, so it was Mike that had the idea.
And she runs, and they'll go get on these mountains. And you're like, wait, what? In like 30 seconds, they're all on top of these mountains.
And it looked like it was
crevice.
miles.
And it was like, guys, I'm pretty sure that's not how that works. And like somehow they climbed up these cliffs and got up on top. It's like,
like I said, don't use logic. It's all about the feelings.
It is not logical.
I thought that was hilarious because they're like running, and it's like chasing them, and then all of a sudden they're all up. The other groups are all up on top of these mountains.
Yeah, you can poke holes in this, like, but specifically for me, I enjoyed this season, but there was one too many girl boss moments. There just was.
They've had so many girl boss moments with 11. I mean,
do they need more of these? That's what like Hopper
doesn't like every single season up to this point end with 11 pointing her hand out and screaming.
And screaming, yeah.
Every single one. I mean, we couldn't change it up a little bit.
But that's and that's the problem with creativity is you keep going back to the well, and everybody thinks that the Duffer Brothers are like geniuses for coming up with this. No, this show's pretty repetitive. It has a lot of repetitiveness to it, and that's most shows, I guess. Before we wrap up shitting all over season 5,
this coffee smells like shit.
I did like a lot of season 5. There's a speech that Hopper gives, which on retrospect was pointless because Eleven went ahead and did what she wanted to do anyway. But the speech about fatherhood, about wanting her to have a child and bring a child into this world and give that child a life that she never had, I thought was beautiful. And it brought me to tears.
Gay!
That's like the only good moment Hopper had. And Hopper for the longest time was my favorite character. Most of this season, he is completely inept. And I don't like how that is.
A lot of characters who were useless.
Well,
who just didn't do anything.
Well, why keep giving Karen Wheeler all these great moments? Like she has like 3 or 4 great moments in this, and it's like she was a side character. She was a cheating wife character.
Well, and Holly
became like the lead of the show.
The main character. Holly being the Wheeler youngest child, for whatever reason, they gave her all this screen time. Apparently the most screen time than any of the other characters. And I see a little bit of what they were trying to do. And this was probably my favorite part of the whole series, was the end when the whole group is there. They're playing D&D. They wrap up their game. Mike has this kind of long speech about them all going their own ways and getting together when they can and living life and stuff like that, which I thought was it was great. I liked it. And then
I did too.
They put their books up and the younger kids come in and start playing D&D, which is kind of a pass of the torch. And Mike kind of looks at them. Loved it. I thought that was
great. That was great.
And it really kind of went back to a essence of Stranger Things that felt lost kind of throughout the series, which was just this essence of friendship and camaraderie, and living out your adolescence and having these people that can have your back, right? And it kind of lost that, and it felt like it found itself again right there at the last few moments, and passing on the torch to Holly and her friends, which I guess is why Holly probably got so much screen time, because they knew that this passing of the torch was kind of happening.
Yeah.
Which I guess I get, but they could have done that with probably half or even a third of the screen time that Holly got.
Yeah. I mean, the truth is that when this show was its best, it was its best with the 4 main boy characters who play D&D. That was when it was at its best.
Because that's what it was built around from the very beginning.
Yeah.
That's what it was all kind of built around.
And the truth is they probably had a little too little of that for the last couple of seasons.
Yeah. Hey, you know what would really help us out? Please, please, please subscribe, like, and share.
Let's talk about the cultural impact before we get out of here. So this show might be the last what's affectionately referred to as a water cooler show. So a water cooler show in the old times when we watched shows week by week.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Is you would watch a show over the weekend, you would go to your office on Monday, and you'd stand around the water cooler and talk to everybody about what just happened in the show. Or the break room. You'd go to the break room and everybody would be talking about a show. And these are lost in this new era, in the TikTok era, in the short form era. These are lost. We do not have these anymore. It creates a community, and it feels like when this show first started, the community, the cultural zeitgeist in our country was beginning to unravel. And now this show represents the end of a social and cultural zeitgeist. You and I are always kind of complaining about there's no originality, there's no movies with good lines in them anymore, or memorable lines or memorable moments. And I think this show represents the end of that. And I mean, it might be a little doomsday, but I can't think of another show that's taking its place. Are there shows that I like? 100%. There's shows that I love. Are there movies that I like? 100%. They're coming out, but they're not. Those are not shared by everyone else. Mobland was so good. Landman was so good. Jack Reacher is so good. There's all these shows that I really enjoy that are coming that are still ongoing, but they are not going to ever hold our society captivated like this show. And like the shows before it, like Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad and The Sopranos, and the list goes on and on and on. The point is that all of those shows had a moment in history when everybody was talking about them, and we don't have a show coming up that is.
I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
And it's not to say that there won't be, there might not, that there won't be a show that will kind of have that, where literally everybody has seen it and everybody has an opinion. Because that's how this is. It seems like the end of this show, everybody's talking about it. Everybody has an opinion. Game of Thrones, when that ended, everybody was talking about it. Everybody had an opinion.
Yeah.
And which is great. That's kind of like you said, the water cooler moments.
Yeah.
Where people, at the water cooler are chatting about it. I think that's great. But yeah, you're right. There might not be another.
Well, I think the water cooler moments are leaving us as well. People are working at home more often. People are less likely to work together. People are fragmented. You can work with somebody for years and never talk to them. You work in the same building and never talk to. So there's so much of this like disconnect from everyone else. I think there's going to be like a time where there's going to be conservative shows and progressive shows and splitting of all of this. And so there's not really anything that keeps us and holds us together, which I think this show was the last of it. That's what it feels like to me. And I don't think I'm alone in that. I think a lot of people are kind of saying that, because the show took 10 years to get through it. So it started at a time where we were kind of more united, and there's so much toxicity in our society now. There are these cultural moments that everybody cannot, like you said, everybody had opinion about it, like The Sopranos, the ending of The Sopranos and the ending of Breaking Bad. And there's like a handful of shows where you can go, I was really satisfied with that ending, and everybody kind of agrees. I don't think anybody's going to agree on the satisfaction of this ending to this show. I think that'll be a thing of the past after all is said and done. Unfortunately, I think it does represent that. And there are cultural moments in this show. When I think of them, I think of the van flipping over at the end of, I think it's the first season.
Yeah.
I think of the mind flare, like the first time it was revealed, and I think it was the first or second season. And they did a good job of like calling them back and having flashbacks to them, and became a show that was based on nostalgia for another era. At the end of this season, did a lot of nostalgia for another era.
Yeah.
When the show started. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's like it was just
became nostalgia for itself.
Yeah, became nostalgia for itself.
Yes! Hell yeah!
Which is okay. I'm okay with that, because
so am I. Yeah.
It, like you said, it did become kind of a cultural phenomenon. It having nostalgia for itself, I think, was okay. I'm okay with that. We'll see if we get another show that will be able to do that.
I don't see anything in the forecast. In fact, I would say we've had more duds of shows in the last 3 years than we've had high successes. And there's definitely nothing that everybody's talking about. There's stuff that the fragments are talking about.
Yeah.
The fragments of our society are talking about different shows.
Yeah.
And if AI has anything to do, like in the next several years, it'll be a show just geared towards you and only you, and it'll be unique to you.
And you won't have any water cooler moments because everybody's talking about their own stuff. Yeah. One of the things I loved about the last 40 minutes of the season is just that it was a goodbye to kind of the end of an era.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what we might be seeing is the end of an era.
Something that we'll look back on with fondness. A nostalgic show that fed off of nostalgia is going to also create nostalgia.
Mm.
Check us out on social media, Instagram, X, as well as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just look for The Sword in the Skull.
If you like this, you're the subscriber we are looking for.
Until next time, keep reading, keep listening, keep watching, learn more. We'll see you, brother.
See ya.
Stop that. You're not going into a song while I'm here. Cut that out. There you go, son. Now get out of here. You're bothering.